Hey guys, this is His and His. Today we're going to be discussing Eli Manning and whether we think he's a Hall of Famer. And as always, I'll hand it over to my colleague to give you his opinion first.
Yeah, well, I definitely have to go with him as a Hall of Famer because he's a two-time Super Bowl MVP. He's got a two-time Super Bowl MVP and one of the best postseason quarterbacks ever. You're clutch. You deserve a spot in the Hall of Fame.
But I disagree. But when you think of Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, Kurt Warner, Eli Manning does not pop into your head. Eli Manning has interception problems. Every year he's thrown double-digit interceptions, usually around 15. That's too many for a Hall of Fame quarterback. He has consistency problems. In those two Super Bowls, he's really streaky. Those two Super Bowls came when he was on a hot streak. So yes, you can make the argument that he's clutch, but I'm going to make the argument that he was in a bad division both times. And the second time they were 9-7. They shouldn't have made the playoffs. That's too bad of a record to make the playoffs, in my opinion. He throws interceptions, and he just for me the main reason he doesn't pop into your head. He's not one of those quarterbacks that you think of Peyton Manning, Tom Brady esque.
Yeah, but those are the all-time greats. I mean, Peyton Manning's he could go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. So could look at Joe Namath. Joe Namath in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he's got more interceptions at 220 than touchdowns, 173, and he averaged 17 interceptions per game. So Eli can definitely get into the Hall of Fame with his interception problems. And compared to Joe Namath, he's extremely non-turnover prone.
So, first of all, I don't think Joe Namath should be in the Hall of Fame. So, if this argument is, will he be in the Hall of Fame, then Eli Manning probably will. But if this argument is, do we think he should be in the Hall of Fame? I don't think Eli Manning should be, because he's slow, which so is Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. But in this up-and-coming NFL, you look at Russell Wilson, Cam Newton. Those are the young stars. They can both run and get out of the pocket with the ball. Eli Manning, whenever he sees pressure, which he cannot evade, he makes bad decisions. He either just sits down for a sack, which can be interpreted as a good decision sometimes, or he just throws it away, and a lot of the time it's a pick. And going back to my consistency point, you saw at times this year he had a 5-pick game. He had a pretty good year picks wise, 14 picks, not great, but it's good for him. He had a pretty good he had a pretty good year for himself pick wise. But he had those games where he had 5 interceptions, 3 interceptions, and then he had other games where he'd be perfect. And I just believe if you look at Peyton Manning, he's always consistent. Tom Brady is almost always consistently going out there and getting it done for his team. Whereas Eli Manning, he'll go out there against teams where he really does need to have a great game, and he'll throw 5 picks.
Yeah, but also look at Brett Favre. I mean, Brett Favre has 336 interceptions to 508 touchdowns on his career. And Brett Favre is considered one of the all-time great quarterbacks. So, and also, when you go back to the running problem, we're not saying does his play style match the quarterbacks of today. It's
and I know. It was
an era of pocket quarterbacks.
It was an irrelevant point. I realize that now, but I do believe, if we're just going off track for tiny bit right now, the new quarterback in the NFL can throw the ball and run the ball, but that doesn't have any impact on this argument. So that point was irrelevant, I realize, but
just he has those games when he throws 5 interceptions, but the greatness of Eli Manning is his postseason performance. And in the postseason, he's so good. He's in his 2 Super Bowl winning years. I mean, 0. He threw a combined 2 interceptions. And so when it matters most, Eli Manning really steps up. And that's all that counts, is has he delivered Super Bowls. And he's delivered 2 of them. And he's been the MVP in those Super Bowls.
But is that all what counts, though? I mean, for your franchise, it does. But to get into the Hall of Fame, I think you have to be consistent. You have to be consistently good, like Peyton Manning, or Tom. Yeah, I keep going back to those 2 guys. But right now, those are the models for consistency, I believe. Or Aaron Rodgers even. Eli Manning, he's just good in the postseason, which is great. Which is great for his, really helps his chances, and it's great for his franchise. But I think in order to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, you have to be good in the regular season and the postseason. And he's showing flashes of that, of greatness in the regular season, but just not enough for me.
Yeah, and I agree with you. He's not a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady, so he's not going to be like a high-end Hall of Famer. I think he's going to slip in there as he's going to slip into the Hall of Fame. And I think what will really do it is those 2 Super Bowl championships. I really think those are enough to be able to slip him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and we're both Giants fans, so we both want him to be in the Hall of Fame, but I just don't think he will be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think that's all we got time for. See you guys next time. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.